Okay, welcome to Watercolor Techniques. Write your name and your class at the top of the paper along with me. Now, we can't just paint directly on this paper because the paper is so thin and the watercolor won't work well with it. So what we need is special watercolor paper. So take 4 special watercolor papers. They should be located right at your center, and you want to carefully glue them on in each little rectangle here. Pause this video and glue your watercolor papers to your technique sheet. Okay, before we start on the technique sheet, what I want you to do is take a little piece of watercolor paper and get your paints and your watercolors ready. You're not even going to keep this paper. We're just going to use it to practice. So take a minute, pause this video, get the paper, get the paint, and do this along with me. We're just going to practice using the brushes and waking up the color. Okay, so I just want to tell you something about pan watercolors is if you haven't used them for a while, they do dry out a little bit. It doesn't mean they won't work. You just need to know how to wake them up properly. This is how to do it. Dip your brush in the water. Get a little bit of the extra water off, and all you need to do is gently rub the color. And this is optional, but you can say, wake up, good morning, wake up purple. There we go. And then check to see if your special alarm worked. Here we go. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, fantastic. A nice, vibrant color. Let's try one more time. Wash your brush, get the extra water off, and wake up another color. Wake up green. Remember, we're not digging. This is not a garden. We're adding plenty of water, and then we're just gently rubbing it to wake it up. And we want to get that color nice and vibrant on the page, not so much water that the color is really, really washed out. Now, when it's time to wash your brush, this is the way I tell kids to do it. You gently, gently tap the bottom of the water cup. Tap, tap, tap. Do it with me. Tap, tap, tap very gently. And then swish, swish, swish in the middle. Swish, swish, swish. And then massage, massage. Do it one more time with me. Tap, tap, tap. Swish, swish, swish. Massage, massage. And that is the way you clean a paintbrush. So the first technique we're going to learn about is called wet on wet, and it requires you to carefully wet the paper underneath before you start painting. So I'm just going to very carefully wet my watercolor paper, just enough so it's nice and damp, but not so much that I have like pools of water on the paper. Then I'm going to take some color, put it on the wet paper, and see what happens. Check it out. Now experiment with another color. Wash your brush properly, put another color on there, and see what happens. See how the colors move across the page. Keep playing with it until you've filled up your entire paper. If you start to make brown, make sure you stop. Otherwise, you'll have a whole paper that's all different shades of brown instead of beautiful colors. Pause this video and try wet on wet. The next technique is a fan favorite here in the elementary art room, and it is called wax resist. Now, I like to use oil pastels rather than crayons for wax resist. It's a little bit easier to apply, and I find it more vibrant. So, experiment. Try some dark colors, try some light colors, and just make a few patterns going across the page. Don't be afraid to use white. I definitely want you to use a little bit of white in this. I know you won't be able to see it now, but trust me, it will look cool. Okay, now it's time to make the magic happen. So choose a color and paint right over top of your oil pastel. Experiment. What happens when you use a dark color on top of a dark oil pastel? What happens if you use a light color on top of a light oil pastel? Make sure you use lots of different colors going all across the page and fill up the whole paper with paint. Have fun. Now it's your turn. Go ahead and pause this video and try wax resist. Okay, this next one is called a variegated wash, but I like to call it a color drop because that's kind of what you do. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting that background nice and wet with some light orange and then also with some dark orange. With a wet background, paper will allow my colors that I'm going to drop onto here to flow in a really cool way. So I'm going to get my brush nice and wet course my colors are awake, and I'm going to drop some colors on there. Notice I'm not painting like I'm sweeping a floor, right? I'm just dropping the colors on there and seeing them flow across the paper. Give it a shot. It is your turn. See what happens when you color drop. Pause this video and try color drop. Okay, and last but not least, we've got a graded wash coming up. So what you need to do is you need to get your paper nice and wet, just like before, nice and wet, but we're not going swimming. There shouldn't be pools of water on it. There we go. And what we're basically doing is we're shading. We're going to start with dark, and it's going to get lighter and lighter and lighter as we go down. Let's give it a shot. Here we go. So I'll start with I'll try purple. Okay, get a little bit of paint on there, and I'm going to, okay, here we go. Get some pretty dark purple going there across the top. Great. Nice. Now, it should get lighter and lighter and lighter as I go down. It's not getting as light as I had hoped. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wash my brush and then use just a wet, clean brush on the rest of it. Check it out. See how it just kind of magically gets lighter and lighter and lighter as I am going down. Do you see that? I'm going to try to add a little bit more paint here. Just going across again and again. I'm going to get lots of that water off here. There we go. There we go. Beautiful. That's exactly what I want. So it should be dark, getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Now, controlling the paint and controlling the brush is pretty tricky. So if you don't get it the first time, don't worry about it. We have other pieces of paper you can try again. Now, if you are happy with the way it turned out and you want to get kind of fancy, try adding another color on there like I just did with the red. So both the purple and the red get lighter and lighter as they go down. You don't have to, though. That's just if you want to take it further. Go ahead and pause this video and try a graded wash.